All right, if you're gearing up for that NSCA CPT exam, you know Chapter 3, Bioenergetics, can feel like a real monster. But honestly, it's the bedrock of everything we do as trainers. So let's break it down and really get a handle on how our bodies fuel every single movement. Just think about it for a second. A 100-meter dash versus a 10-kilometer run. They feel like night and day, don't they? Of course they do. And that's because your body is using completely different engines, different fuel systems. For you, as a CPT, understanding exactly how and why that happens, well, it's not just important, it's absolutely non-negotiable if you want to write programs that actually work. Okay, so before we dive into the different power systems, we got to talk about the one and only fuel that makes everything go. I'm talking about the universal currency that powers it all, from a bicep curl to your brain just listening to me right now. So what is bioenergetics? Don't let the fancy name intimidate you. All it really means is how our body takes the food we eat, our carbs, fats, and proteins, and converts it into energy our cells can actually use. It's kind of like your body's own internal power plant. And this all falls under the umbrella of metabolism, which really has two sides to it. First, you've got catabolism. Think catastrophe or breaking down. This is where your body breaks down bigger molecules like carbs into glucose to release energy. Then you have anabolism. This uses that energy to build stuff up, like creating new muscle. It's this constant dance, breakdown for energy, build up for growth. And the molecule at the center of this whole energy exchange, it's ATP, adenosine triphosphate. If you remember one thing, remember this. ATP is the energy currency of your body. It's like cash. It's the only thing your cells can spend to get work done. No ATP, no muscle contractions, no anything. Okay, let's get into our first energy system. I want you to think of this one as pure rocket fuel. It's all about immediate, explosive, all-out power. We're talking blink and you'll miss it speed. Yeah, the phosphagen system is all about that short-term, high-intensity stuff. Your 1-rep max lift, a vertical jump, a sprint off the line. That's its playground. It's the boss for about the first 10 seconds of any exercise. And how does it work so fast? It uses an enzyme called creatine kinase to basically hotwire and regenerate ATP on the spot. It's incredibly powerful, but it burns out super, super fast. So, what happens when that 10 seconds of rocket fuel is gone? Well, the afterburner kicks in. Welcome to glycolysis. This is the system that takes over for those high-intensity efforts that last longer than just a quick burst. Glycolysis really comes online as the phosphagen system is tapping out. Think about things like a grueling 400-meter run or a high-rep set of squats that has you gasping for air. For the exam, here's what you need to lock in. Glycolysis runs on carbs, either glucose in your blood or glycogen stored in your muscles. And the end result of this process is a molecule called pyruvate. And what happens to that pyruvate? Well, that's where things get interesting. Right, so pyruvate comes to a fork in the road, and the path it takes all comes down to intensity and how much oxygen is available. If you're going all out and your body needs energy right now, it goes down the path of fast glycolysis. Pyruvate gets converted into lactate. But if the intensity is a bit lower and there's enough oxygen to go around, it takes the slow path and gets sent over to the mitochondria to be used in our next energy system. Now, this is a huge one and something the NSCA exam loves to test on, so listen up. For decades, everyone thought lactate was the bad guy, the waste product that caused that muscle burn and fatigue. That is completely wrong. It's an old myth. Lactate is actually a fuel source. Through something called the Cori cycle, your body is smart enough to take that lactate, send it to the liver, and convert it back into glucose for more energy. It's an amazing recycling system. All right, we've had the rocket fuel and the afterburner. Now let's talk about the cruise control engine. This is the oxidative system. This is your long-haul, super efficient power source. It's what's powering you right now, just sitting there. And it's what gets you through a long run or a bike ride. And the cool thing about this system is that it's not a picky eater. Check out this chart. When you're at rest or doing some light activity, it's happily burning fat for fuel. It loves fat. But as you ramp up the intensity, say going from a walk to a jog, it starts to rely more and more on carbohydrates. Protein? It'll use it, but only if it's really desperate. So you might be wondering, is there like a red line, a point where we shift from that easy aerobic cruise engine to needing that anaerobic afterburner? You bet there is, and it's called the lactate threshold. It's that specific intensity where lactate starts to build up in your blood faster than your body can clear it out. For us as trainers, this is a golden metric. It's one of the best ways to gauge someone's aerobic fitness. And here's this so what for your clients. Look at this graph. This is why we train. An untrained person might hit their lactate threshold at, say, 50 or 60% of their max aerobic capacity. But a trained athlete, they can push that threshold way up, maybe to 70 or even 80%. What does that mean in the real world? It means they can go harder for longer before that intense fatigue really sets in. Okay, science lessons wrapping up. Now comes the part that really matters, both for your exam and for your career as a trainer. How do we take all this information and, actually use it to make people better? This quote from the NSCA text says it all. It's all about using the right intensities and rest intervals to target specific energy systems. This is the secret sauce. It's called metabolic specificity. It means we stop guessing and start programming with a purpose. We can actually design workouts to make one specific energy system better. And this table right here, this is your cheat sheet. This is how you do it. If you want to train that explosive phosphagen system, you need long rest periods. We're talking a work-to-rest ratio of like 1 to 12, or even 1 to 20. You've got to give that system time to fully recharge. Training glycolysis? The rest is shorter, maybe a 1 to 3 or 1 to 5, to teach the body how to handle that metabolic stress. And for the oxidative system, the rest periods are even shorter to really push that aerobic endurance. So let's put a bow on this. All this science, it's not just stuff you need to memorize to pass a test. This is the foundation of smart, effective program design. When you understand these systems, you can pull the levers, you can change the intensity, the reps, the rest to get the exact adaptation you want for your client. You literally have the blueprint. So the question is, how are you going to use it to build the athlete?